Got
And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the first part of July 2023. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's edition of ACAP Today, we're going to speak with ACAP's two directors of programs about the new way that customers coming into our agency are going to be worked with as we move forward, the new comprehensive intake system. It's very exciting and it's a long time coming, and we're going to talk to both Heidi Rackliffe and Megan Barnes about that in just a bit. But before we do that, we're going to first, as we usually do at this point in the broadcast, get to the news and the information that you can use again for this, the first half of July 2023. And we begin with something that starts at the very beginning of July, which is the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. The WIC program, or all participants in the WIC program, those who are over 12 months old, will receive $30 to spend at the eWIC certified farmers markets on Maine grown fruits and vegetables. Now, in addition to this, we of course offer the farmers markets that we do in partnership with Gons Farms at our 771 Main Street Presque facility. So this is one of the locations where those that additional $30 on the eWIC card can be used, but it can also be used at other participating farmers across Aroostook County and beyond. WIC, of course, provides complete nutrition care for thousands of Maine families, including hundreds here in Aroostook County, helping Maine kids to grow up strong and healthy. Now, if you are interested in signing up for WIC, if you're not currently a WIC customer, please do give us a call at 764-3721, or you can visit the website there on your screen. The summer hot lunch summer program is being made available to kids throughout the summer months here in Aroostook County and beyond. It was established to ensure low-income children continue to receive nutritious meals during the summer months when school is not in session, a time when many families face food insecurity challenges. The free meals that meet the federal nutrition guidelines are provided to all children aged 18 years old and younger, and ACAP's going to have some folks joining in on some of these summer meal sites throughout the summer to help connect them with other services. You can go to the maine.gov website for the Department of Education for Hot Lunch Summer for more information and to find the location of the meal site closest to you. The ACAP Housing and Energy team are looking for houses in need of weatherization services for the coming year. The weatherization services include things like air sealing, wall and attic insulation, basement wall insulation, weather stripping, and caulking. The improvements may also include moisture controls and health and safety measures. Now, households are ranked by the following factors. Those with senior citizens over the age of 60 or those with children under the age of 6 are obviously given priority preference, and as well as a person with a disability in the household. The additional factors looking into how people get this work completed include their fuel utilization costs and their poverty level or their level of income. So if you are looking for more information on this program, you can call us at 764-3721 extension 184, or you can email us at info@acap-me.org. The Maine Homeowner Assistance Fund program continues to offer assistance with paying mortgage payments and housing costs for those households that were impacted by COVID-19 related financial hardships. The Homeowner Assistance Fund may be able to help you. It is for those who earn less than 150% of local area median income and have sustained financial hardship as a result of COVID-19 in one way or another. And the time period where that needed to occur was after January of 2020. A proof of income and an attestation of financial burden or loss related to COVID-19 are requirements for program eligibility. There is funding limited in this program, and we're continuing to help enroll people. It's a Maine Housing Direct Offer program, but we can help you with the application process or answer questions that you have. You can call us here at 764-3721, or the website to visit is mainehomeownerhelp.org. If you are unemployed or underemployed, ACAP does have the services to be able to help. We offer trained and dedicated coaches that assist job seekers with creating plans that overcome barriers that lead to employment. These plans can include training and education options or job readiness and job search activity assistance. Individuals are offered different things like assessments, career decision-making strategies, workshops on resumes, cover letters, and interviewing skills, and job preparation and information on employability skills. Lots of information that is available there for you. You can receive extra help, reemployment resources, and training and education, please do consider giving us a call at 764-3721 again, or send us an email at info@acap-me.org. You can also visit the workforce development place or site on the ACAP website at acap-me.org for more information. The Federal Communications Affordable Connectivity Program is an option for folks who are looking for help with their internet bill and connecting to high-speed internet. You can have a service discount of up to $30 per month. If you are on a qualifying tribal land, that bumps up to as much as $75 per month. There's also the opportunity to get a device discount of up to $100 for a qualifying device. You can go to getinternet.gov for more information. You can give us a call again at 764-3721 to get help connecting to the Affordable Connectivity Program offered through the Federal Communications Commission. And our Head Start program, which provides comprehensive preschool development programs to 3- and 4-year-olds that are income eligible or have other eligibility requirements. And you can certainly give us a call to find out what those are. We certainly encourage you to ask the question and not assume that your child and your family is not eligible. We are enrolling, obviously, for our fall programs at this point. To complete an application, you can go on to the Early Care and Education webpage of the ACAP website, or for more information, any questions you'd like answered, you can call 768-3045, and those questions will get answered for you. Our Winter Energy Relief Program continues, even though we're well beyond the winter months. Thankfully, at this point, if you are having an energy challenge in your home and are in need of assistance with your energy bills to be able to make sure that you have fuel, please do give us a call. We have limited amount of Winter Energy Relief Program dollars left. You can see the income eligibility guidelines there on your screen based upon household size. If you have any questions or want more information on this program, call our energy team at 768-3053. And our teen center that we've been talking about for a number of weeks now, it remains open through the summer months, Monday through Thursday from 3 to 8 p.m., Fridays from 3 to 9 p.m., and on Saturdays from noontime to 9 p.m. in the evening. It's a free space. It's made available for teens, and it was designed by teens. They have things like free Wi-Fi, TV, games, a full kitchen, laundry facilities as needed, study spaces, and more. It's a great place, especially this time of year if you're coming down from the St. John Valley or Southern Aroostook where school is out for the summer, and you want to go hang out at this center, maybe while your parents are shopping or doing other things in Presque Isle. Certainly consider stopping by, because the teen center is for all teens in Aroostook County beyond just those within easy driving distance in Central Aroostook. And we also are reminding folks, especially as we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast with programs like WIC or the summer feeding program, that we do recognize that folks have sometimes an acute food insecurity challenge, and they can certainly turn to a network of community cupboards that are available in several communities from northern to southern Aroostook County. This is the one at our 771 Main Street Customer Service Center near Walmart in Presque Isle. In addition to food that can be non-perishable food items that can be found in there, you can leave non-perishable food items for others who might need it. So if you're going shopping and you're going by Walmart, consider dropping some items off. There's also an available food resources guide, which an electronic version, which can be found on the news and publications page of the ACAP website, that's available in the community cupboard. And finally, if I've not talked about a program or service that you might be in need of and you're struggling with something at this time, please do consider giving us a call. We have a navigator. We have navigators nearby to you that can help connect you with programs not only within our agency, but those from partner agencies in the community, and help guide you to resources that you might need at this time so that you are not struggling. And we certainly are here for that. So again, give us a call, 764-3721. And with that, that's this week's news and information that you can use. Again, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, I'm pleased to welcome to the program this week Heidi Rackliffe and Megan Barnes. Both are directors of programs here at ACAP. And Heidi, I know both of you are excited about this, but I know your enthusiasm is particularly difficult to contain on the topic of comprehensive intake. So first and foremost, explain to folks what we're looking at here and what comprehensive intake is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been with this organization for about 13 years, and I know that this has been a dream in the sky for quite some time. It's ensuring that our agency breaks down every silo, and that all staff become a staff person of ACAP versus a specific program, and ensuring that we're doing our due diligence to the public by having them come in as frequent or as least as possible. Of course, we want everybody to come in as much as they need to, but ensuring we're being thoughtful about the amount of times they come in for the various programs. We see frequently customers constantly saying things like, I gave that information to this program, I gave that information to this, and being asked often the same questions repeatedly. And so what we did by looking at comprehensive service was creating an opportunity for customers to come in, meet with a navigator prior to to their program that they're specifically coming into, and doing a presumptive eligibility for the entire agency that we have. It'll also reduce the amount of work that those direct programs work in. The navigator will be able to be that one touch point, and assist as much as possible with the applications that are able to be received in that moment, rather than going right to that program. And I think that's huge, right? Because it's time saving for the customers. It's putting everything in one area, and it's minimizing people telling their story for the 50th time. We really wanted to focus, and we really try to customize our work to ensure that we're doing what's best for our customers. And this is a practice that we can start instilling, so that they have the best experience possible when they come here.
Now, Megan Barnes, I know that you are excited as well, and this particularly is sort of the next level of work that you folks have been doing. You, Heidi, oversees more community-based services. You oversee a lot of our early care and education, health and nutrition programs, which also work very closely in the community. But your early care and education programs in particular have been following the whole family practice approach, which really does look at sort of surrounding folks with those services. And now the opportunity to be able to extend that and continue it specifically with your women, infant, and children's program, and the connections that we can make with some of the programs under Heidi's leadership really is a very, very exciting time for us.
Absolutely. And I would like to extend what Heidi has already shared. One of the challenges that we faced throughout the rollout of the comprehensive intake process was, how do we reach those off sites, or those surrounding smaller sites? A lot of times when customers come in to us, they have a specific program or need in place, meaning that they want to enroll their young child in either a child care program or in a Head Start or early Head Start program. So they're very specific when they enter our doors, even though they're faced with many challenges that they may not even have identified when they're coming to us. So being able to provide these services we've been very creative. We've presented the opportunities for our receptionists or our program specific positions that can help to support that presumptive eligibility for all programs that ACAP provides at our sites, whether it's at a registration night or an afternoon for one of our programs, our partnership programs, pre-K partnerships. It allows us to reach and really assess where that client is at, what the client may need. We do have family coaching services as part of the program that we provide, but this allows us to have it at that first touch, so that we are having that conversation that includes all of those needs for those clients.
Now, Heidi, I know that sort of some of the guiding work behind this came from our Chief Operating Officer, Jamie Chandler, and from our Director of Strategic Initiatives, Sue Powers. But it really was you and your team that then dug in and said, okay, here's how we make this work. So talk about some of that effort in terms of the preparation that's gone into it for a coming July, mid-July launch on this comprehensive intake model.
Absolutely. You're talking about creating a process that hasn't been done before. So there are so many twists and turns in every route we take. We find another area that we haven't thought of. I give mass amount of kudos to our coordinator, Josh Backentee, who happens to oversee the energy and housing programs, who did a lot of creative scheduling to be able to make this happen. We decided that our first pilot project as this year would be to target those individuals at the working age range. So he did a lot of data extracting to find those households that receive heat services or energy services, to ensure that we were touching base all of the individuals that had 18-year-olds, I believe it was until 55, in which he customized schedules for them. So prior to coming there to their HEAP appointment, they're actually going to get an appointment in the mail that's going to be 30 minutes prior to, so they can have that meeting with that navigator first. And really that's a huge piece of the puzzle, because how do you get people in to start it beyond the walk-ins, just saying, I know I need help and I'm not sure. We serve thousands of people over the course of a year, but we don't want people to just come in when there's an extreme emergency. We want to be able to touch them and provide those services that can be preventative when that's possible. And that creative scheduling will allow us to touch at least 1,700 families for the start of this pilot.
That's huge. And Megan Barnes, I know that you've seen some of those gains specifically in the early care and education environment in the whole family practice as we've adopted it. So now the opportunity to look at sort of filling and closing some of that gap and helping families to be more economically mobile as it comes to the opportunity to maybe connect them if they're coming in for a home energy assistance program appointment, and maybe connect them to WIC. I think it was mentioned, or I know the numbers sort of in the 250 range of households that qualify for HEAP and then would qualify for WIC but aren't enrolled in WIC. So the ability to make that connection happen on site in that one engagement preferably is especially important. And you've seen the results, the direct results of that with some of the early care and education families that have had this opportunity for the past several years.
We have, and that is through our blending and braiding and being able to provide that COG, we refer to it as, is through that coaching model. When they go through, the assessments and the ongoing goal setting and the follow-up with the families, we're able to eventually weed out some of those needs through those ongoing supports with the family coaching piece of program. But I think with this system, we're continuing to break down those needs at an earlier stage. So when we're supporting families that are coming to us with a very specific need around education of young children, or for a WIC service, we are able to have that initial conversation. And I think that's key. I think it's really important to really assess the needs of the family, because we want to build capacity within those families and to meet those underlying needs so that they can be successful. So that is something that's allowed this, I believe, us to have this rollout quicker, because we had what we needed to be able to create this system. It was just looking beyond and kind of being able to prepare for those barriers we knew were going to be there, or those challenges, and be able to kind of maneuver around them so that we could have a system that worked for anyone that came to any one of our doors.
And Heidi, I know that one of the ways that we're going to be connecting customers with service is also with workforce development, which is really critical to this effort that Megan was talking about, the sort of bookends, if you will, or the two most significant connections that we look at when we do the whole family or 2-gen work, are the quality early childhood education experience, but then the connection and pathways to employment for the parents or the caregivers of the children, if applicable. So there are plans as well to connect folks with services available to help individuals get into and families get into the workforce, correct?
Absolutely. That's exactly why our pilot program is being targeted specifically with the working age, because we want to ensure that people are aware of the supports that we have through our workforce program. Everybody can be searching for a job, but what our program offers is that supportive service to ensure that there is no barriers to stop you from getting and maintaining that employment, which can be a huge help. I know specifically for our workforce program, anyone who is eligible and receives that services, that's up to $4,000 per individual that they can access to maintain and keep that employment. Those can be things like car repairs, transportation, childcare, mileage to get to and from. The sky is the limit, and I really think that with this market, with the amount of employees that are needed out, and with the unemployment rate, we can be a huge component to that if people reach out and have that support, because it's not as easy to just get a job. It's often that maintaining things and the life challenges that come up that people don't think of, and we're able to kind of provide that Band-Aid with our programs to be able to ensure that they maintain that job, which is huge, a huge benefit, and makes it a little easier for the employee themselves to know that I just if I can't get to work because my car broke down, to have that lifeline is huge, huge.
And Megan, you know firsthand from families that you work with in the early care and education environment, but also in your health and wellness programs and WIC in particular, that sometimes one of those life setbacks, like a car repair need and not having the money to pay for it and things like that, can really set a household back significantly, can it?
Absolutely. We see it, unfortunately, every day. Providing those fundamental services is critical. It's about, again, building capacity in the families and the clients that we serve. Um, Pinpointing that age group is, when you look at early care and education, for instance, or WIC services, you're looking at that age group specifically because they're the ones that need to access quality childcare to be able to get to work. Before they even have to repair the car, they have to have somewhere to go. So it's as fundamental as that. And the benefits of being able to have access and eliminate those barriers is exponential. I mean, fundamentally for early care and education, it's quality childcare and it's early education services that sets the tone for the rest of the school success, which in turn brings us to where we're talking about now, and that is continued success in all areas.
And Heidi, I think I would be remiss that this great work is happening and is critically important to happen, but there's a sort of a bigger piece of work that needs to happen at sort of the government level, if you will. So talk about how what the work that our coaches are doing, or even with the work that we look at through this comprehensive intake, where we're sort of providing that patchwork quilt to get all of those services and programs connected. There is this thing called the welfare cliff that is a very real challenge for many of the households that we work with to be able to really comfortably progress into full employment. Talk about that challenge for a moment.
It is absolutely, it's, if everybody is utilizing the services that are available, and as much as we want to be able to have full access, there is a point in which people can be ready and are able to start looking at the employment realm and having a reduction in those benefits. The problem that lies is sometimes reducing those benefits do not really give the families kind of that leeway or that transitionary period. So you go from all of a sudden having a good amount of assistance for, let's say, temporary food stamps per se, or SNAP benefits. An individual can gain employment, and then very quickly their entire food stamp benefit is gone, and that's a really hard pull for people living in poverty, because they are working now, they're earning the keep for the family, but they're not understanding because the benefit could have been eligible to them without, and so it's really hard for them to be able to see, and not always, but most can have that conversation of, yes, but it's cash in your money and you can choose to do with that as you want. It doesn't just have to be used towards food. But I think that a huge part of this change or societal change will need to be reviewing programs that we have, to include a tapering off system so that it incentivizes and it makes families interested and willing to want to work and better themselves, without being penalized for reducing the services that they're able to access with that. And often very important services, lifeline services like health insurance and things of that nature.
Yeah, very, very critical, and things that keep a roof over folks' head and food on the table, which are critical. Hierarchy of needs; those are the basic needs, and many of the team members or the family members that we're working to get in employment oftentimes are coming in at entry level wages, and it's just not, it's not their ability to
Very
maintain
challenging.
household, very challenging. Megan Barnes, what excites you the most about this next step in our journey as we proceed in mid or later this month in comprehensive intake?
I think it's the approach. I think it's the welcome when they first enter our doors. I think as much hard work that's done behind the scenes for that hand up, is people still don't understand the services that are at their fingertips and what's accessible and what we're willing to do as an agency to help support that process. so that it is seamless, it is accessible, it is attainable, and it's really there to build that capacity in each and every person that enters our door. I think that's what excites me the most. I know that direct staff are ready and willing to do whatever is needed, and that really excites me because it's there. We have what we need to be able to meet those needs of each individual.
And Heidi, Megan mentioned walk through the door. So before I ask you, I know a lot excites you about this comprehensive intake system, but talk about that process. And I know it'll have slight variances between whether you're walking in the door in Presque or up in the St. John Valley or in Holton, just because of the staff available and capacity. But for the most part, there's pretty much, this is what's going to happen. So if I'm a family with young children coming into an appointment at ACAP or scheduling an appointment at ACAP, walk me through what happens in comprehensive intake.
Absolutely. So it's going to look a little different. As you said, you're going to walk in, you're going to be greeted by a receptionist. They're going to ask you 3 questions. That's to ensure that your household members are all calculated correctly, and that there hasn't been a family change, that your address and your phone number is correct. After that, you will be transitioned over to a navigator who will gather your household income and review all of those presumptive eligibility programs with you. That means that person can do applications for childcare in that moment through our early care centers, early Head Start applications. If somebody is in need of a main care application or a food stamp application, that navigator can do that, even though that's not a benefit or a service that we provide with our organization, because it allows an online portal for people to help. We can do that assistance in getting that connection. Same with affordable connectivity. Everybody that has internet access can get a $30 disconnect, or not disconnect, I'm sorry, discount to their program. So all of those pieces are going to be done by a navigator. The second that a navigator is done, and it's important to know that all of that data is being collected at that navigator role, then you would go to that specialized program that you were attempting to go to. So if it was HEAP in that situation, you would be transitioned to a HEAP employee, have your HEAP appointment finished, finalized. And then at that point, if there's any other programs that interest that individual going through that presumptive eligibility with that navigator, a future appointment would be scheduled or a warm handoff to meet that person right away. We want to be considerate of someone's time here with the agency and what they're able to contribute. In a perfect world, we would love to do everything in the minute, but we want to be flexible to that customer and meet the customer where they're at. And so if that means coming back at another time to meet with those special off programs, we would do that. So it's kind of sort of like a doctor's office model. When you go in and you meet with the reception, you talk to the med assistant, and the doctor comes in. It's going to be done the same exact way here. And we're hoping that that in return gives a more positive experience to the customer, and providing a more wraparound approach.
And is that what jazzes you the most, or what are you the most jazzed about this?
Absolutely. All of it. I think paving the path for the unknown is both scary, but also really exciting at the same time. This is a huge filler and recruiter for the programs that we have at the same component. We have these programs, we want to get them out to people, and this is one way to offer that assistance when they're right in front of you trying to access another service, to say, but did you know, and this is how this can help you in this situation. And I think that is going to be huge and effective, more so than advertising it any other way.
And I want to come back to that statement just for a moment, Heidi, about getting customers enrolled in as many programs as possible, and especially where we're looking at working age families. Our purpose is not to get them enrolled in these programs to stay enrolled in those programs. It's to help sort of with that, let me help you get stabilized because your family might be
100%.
So the work continues from that point and you're moving forward.
Yeah, that's the starting point. But typically, unfortunately, by the time we see individuals, it's at it can be a destitute stage, right? So in order for someone to find employment, you're not going to be able to be as successful if you don't have a home to stay in, you don't have clothes, you don't have food, you don't have all of those pieces met. We need to meet the basic needs of an individual, and before we ask them to fully flourish, and before we ask them to get a job, keep a job, do all of those pieces, benefits in the programs that we receive, they've got to start somewhere, and we need to be able to provide that helping hand up, to give them time to be able to hopefully eventually obtain employment and reduce the reliance on the benefits that we have.
Right.
And I couldn't say that better. I do want to add that You know, when they come to us, just like Heidi had stated, it's about, you know, the formula shortage. Where do I access formula for my baby? I don't have anything to feed the baby, and I can't find it. Diapers, you know, having a diaper shortage, not being able to afford them, having a safe roof over their head during the day, because they're either homeless or the family situation, the home situation is not conducive for the safety of the child. So it's that very fundamental needs that are short term, but very, very impactful to them that they need. And we, all of us across the agency, have made a commitment to make sure that, you know, we give what we need to make sure that people have what they need to take the next step.
And that a lot of our conversation has focused on families with young children, people of working age. As we progress in this comprehensive intake and as we expand from this initial pilot working specifically with working age families and families with young children, the same can be said for seniors, but in a more sort of sustaining and safety net way, that we're going to also try to connect seniors with as many programs as they can be connected with, especially given the cost of living today.
It's challenging for everybody. I don't think that there's anybody that has been untouched, regardless of what poverty scale you're at, with the increase of everything that's going around, whether it be gas or groceries or anything. We all feel that as a community. There's no doubt, but nobody feels it as more as those in poverty.
Great. Okay, so go ahead, Megan.
I was just going to say, and sometimes with seniors, it's as fundamental as access to technology. You know, having those needs, but accessing those needs. And we're here and we're set up to be able to make that process seamless so they are able to access.
Anything that you haven't mentioned, Megan, I'm going to begin with you, that you wanted to make sure that folks knew about this new approach, this comprehensive intake approach with our agency before we close this broadcast out.
I think I would like the takeaway to be that regardless of what location you're accessing, it may look a little different, but the process will be the same. And that's that the customer experience is seamless from start to end, to be able to figure out what services are needed to be accessed and how we do that as seamless as possible. So there may be, through video calls, there may be a dual role position, an employee that works 2 different roles. There may be a specific person assigned to that initial intake process piece. But each site is going to be committed to making sure that our customers have access to all services that they may need to access.
Yes, indeed. Heidi, your last words and thoughts on this topic.
Prepare to come into ACAP with a new experience. This is brand new for us. This is going to be brand new for everybody. It's going to be a little bit of a change period, and we're going to fine tune as we go along. But we're trying to make the biggest impact for the people that we serve, to make their life easier. And so I'm hoping that people are excited by the change. I'm hoping that they're open-minded, and they really realize that ACAP is so much more than our huge legendary programs like our early child care centers and our HEAT programs. We have over 40 programs, and we want to share that with the community. We want the community to be excited to access those services, because at the end of the day, that's the stepping point, right? Using those creatively as a stepping point to get to wherever they want to go is going to give them the best chances at being successful in whatever that ends up being. So,
well, thank you both very much, Heidi Rackliffe and Megan Barnes. Heidi, speaking of those 40 plus programs that we offer here at the agency, before we leave you two and everyone else here this week, we're going to take you to one of those programs doing really great things in the community, one of our prevention programs that's out there connecting with community folks in very unique ways for our snapshot of the week. Our highlight snapshot this week takes us to the Ashland Community Library that recently partnered, or is continuing to partner, with our Healthy Eating Active Living program. That you can see Renee there from our team, who's with the librarian at the Ashland Community Library. They're providing free seeds to their patrons through a program that ACAP was able to access through our Healthy Eating Active Living program. a really great opportunity to help people grow their own food and to help with some of those food security needs. And as Heidi was talking about the cost of living across the board being much greater, this is one way that folks can certainly save some money by accessing some free seeds and growing some produce in these beautiful Aroostook County summers. So if you haven't been to the Ashland Community Library, or if you're a library affiliated person out there, ask your library about participating in our free healthy eating active living seed program with public libraries. It's a great program, and we're appreciative of the Ashland Community Library and all of the efforts of our HEAL team and our prevention team to make it happen. With that, that's this week's highlight photo of the week, and then also our edition of ACAP Today for the first half of July 2023. We'll be back in the latter half of July with another edition of this program. Until then, have a great first half of July, everyone.